Coquihalla summit was really alpine. It was definitely another level compared to most of the missions we've done so far. This mission was a lesson on how to respect and understand the terrain that you're on and the skills required and know your own limitations.
The Coquihalla summit region, steep. Lots of hiking. But talk about beautiful, with having the yak in the backdrop and being able to be on top of the Markhor or on top of the Flatiron, rigging just stunning Class A alpine highlines.
The Coquihalla summit. We were here last year. We rigged some smaller lines close to the waterfall that's behind us. But this year is a little bit more intense. We went in the alpine. The mountain we were summiting was Markhor. And we had a couple of lines that we wanted to rig there.
I already scoped like last year and then the year before, and that was basically goal of this mission to establish this line on Markhor needle traverse and flat iron. It's probably the hardest one in terms of access and water because there is not much snow. We were lucky.
Started at base camp, got all the gear ready. We got some tarps set up and we're just going through the gear on the first night.
This is our like base camp, car camping spot where we get the gear going and food and all the prep. Then our like playground, it starts at the Coquihalla summit by the trailhead to many popular hiking trails. One is going to the Yak, one is going to Needle Peak, and you can expand further and further. So that's the spot where we start our missions. By the highway, pretty sweet, convenient access, right?
Went to bed early and then started the summiting. There was a lot of bushwhacking at first. That trail definitely weeds out the people who shouldn't be in the alpine. Difficult to find the trail at first. And then the marking is very minimal, so you gotta be confident about how you situate yourself in the mountains. About a 2-hour hike with 40 pounds backpack approximately.
All smiles.
And then it went onto some slabby rocks and a little bit of loose rocks here and there. But that was a great experience of itself. Once you reach the summit, you're walking along the ridge and it's pretty scenic. You almost don't know where to look. There's the most beautiful landscape, 360 views around you.
Being at the base of that kind of felt a bit daunting, just knowing that we had to hike with all the heavy backpacks all the way up there. It was nice to take breaks and look around and be like, wow, this place is incredible. And then you would look up and be like, oh my God, okay, we're really going up there? That was our first experience in the Alpine. I feel like it's a place that is very inspiring. It just makes you want to keep exploring and kind of go everywhere. I feel like as soon as we got up to the top, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, we can rig a high line here, but we could also rig lines there and there and there and there.
The most important things, it's pretty much the weather, you know. So we were here in the heat wave. You must just make sure you have enough water so you don't get dehydrated, you know. So before going to the mountains, you just need to make sure everyone has enough water for a day. And
How much water did you bring?
1.5 liter.
And what are we doing today?
we split this project in the multiple days, so we don't carry camping gear and the gear at the same time. That was kind of the safety factor of not overloading ourselves with too much weight to just get up and get exhausted on the first day, you know. We were lucky, we had some snow patches to have water, but we carried the water up as well, and the water which we found in form of snow was added like a luxury, so we can really be enjoying as much water as we can.
On the first day we started rigging, which went super smoothly. I'd say it took us about 4 hours from bolting to putting the tagline and then pulling the webbing. And then everyone went for a short session afterwards. Or I should say everyone but me. I was terrified of the wind and I decided to wait till the wind was going to be calmer, and that never happened in the whole weekend we were here, so that's a lesson I've learned. When your turn on the line comes, you should definitely go, even if you're scared.
My first alpine line.
Fun, man. Enjoy it.
Kind of a different perspective on highlining. Everywhere you go, when you go up into the alpine, it's more of an adventure and type 2, get the gear up there, get the gear down and things like that. So every place has kind of its special thing. It took us all day to hike up there, bolt it, rig it, build the anchors, and I almost forfeited my session as well because it was just a long day of rigging. Even if we were camping at the top, it was still a bit of a hike to get to the line. Everybody was having such crazy windy sessions, and it's kind of just let it go and just tied in and tried to have fun out there. It's definitely the most beautiful and scenic line that I've ever been on. The Markhor needle beside us, and then the sun was starting to set and all the mountains in the background. It was just such a crazy line. I was just happy to be able to get on it at least once and walk in the crazy winds. Pretty up there with some of the hardest winds I've been on.
First exposed line that I actually enjoyed feeling exposed on. So that was interesting. Because it was so beautiful that I wasn't actually feeling afraid at all. Completely breathtaking and made me realize that I can actually start to enjoy exposure, and I don't always need to be afraid of it, because that's the whole point, is to highline in these really beautiful places. I think I kind of got stuck highlining in places that aren't necessarily as scenic, and then kind of keeping it more focused on the progression and the pushing yourself. So like Asa was saying, a line like that, it's like it's not even about sending or any goal really, it's just like go and be in that space, and that's the special part.
Talk about windy. It was epic. It was hard. A 130 meter felt like 5 times the length. It was just difficult, but it was humbling. You know, when you get humbled, it's the best feeling in the world. You gotta go with it and go with the blows. It reminded me that, you know, like when you're in life and everything seemed like you got everything figured out, and then you're like, whoa, I'm getting a little rocked here. You know, I just gotta focus a little more. I gotta be more tentative with my movements, with how I proceed to move forward. And that's what I had to do on the Markhor line, was just take it slower, focus, and re-ground myself with the basic principles of highlining. And that's that every step counts, and that you always have to be right there. If you think, you're out. You need to just be present.